there, and welcome to The Generational Gamer. In this video, we are going to look at Streets of Kamurocho. It is a glorified version of Yakuza characters, or Like a Dragon in modern day, characters in a Streets of Rage environment. Every character you play as is essentially Axel from the Streets of Rage series. Sega produced this title and released it for free on Steam. Now, I have played the first round and a half. I stopped because round 2 is identical to round 1. I mean, it's free, you can't complain about it, right? Let's take a look. So if you don't know the story, Nishiki is Kiryu's friend. They're sworn brothers. Nishiki turns in the first game after Kiryu goes to prison for 10 years on his behalf. Nishiki goes from being a weak man into a downright evil man who is the boss of the first game. Their relationship is really fleshed out during Yakuza 0. The first thing you do is select your control method. After that, you select your characters. I bet you can't guess who that question mark is. If you guessed Ichiban, you'll be right. There he is. Now, I go through and I play each character. They're virtually identical, so I personally like playing as Kiryu, but this is Majima. He uses the exact same moves as Kiryu and Axel, and he even makes the same noises. Let's take a look at Ichiban, and then we'll move on. Like I said, the exact same audio and the exact same moveset. I don't know about you, but Kiryu is the face of this series, and I always like playing as him. Even in the games that have multiple characters that you play through, I always prefer the Kiryu stages. Nothing should really be a surprise if you played Streets of Rage 2. So I'm going to go through the entire round 1, and I'm going to point out things that I recognize from the series. The only reason I'm doing round 1 again is because round 2 is essentially a different version of round 1. So you see that he's beating the hell out of Chinese folks. It seems like they've combined quite a few of the earlier games. Like you got Nishikiyama, he's your first real boss. But you're fighting a bunch of Chinese mafia, which is from Yakuza 2. In fact, you get the whole origin story about where they came from and why the Japanese Yakuza and the Chinese mafia don't like each other. This series has a phenomenal story. If you've never actually played the game and you don't want to spend the I don't know how many hours to go through the entire series, there are a lot of videos on YouTube, and they'll just break it down for you. It has a phenomenal story. I can only wish that we would have something like that, as a real movie, but it would have to be played by the people who know the series best. By the way, if you saw that pickup, it's a Stamina X. That's one of the medicines in the game. The attention to detail in this game is actually really, really good. If you notice at the very beginning of this level, there's a Papo. That is a convenience store in Kamurocho and in pretty much every other city that you play in. It's a really nice addition. I like the way they did that. Now you also notice right now that Kiryu's stabbing and throwing and stuff like that. That He will stab you in a heat action. Heat is when you use your special moves. But Kiryu never kills. So right here, you're fighting your first boss. He is actually a boss in number 3. He's a main character. Now, I personally don't like the game. I think it's the weakest of the entire series. Anyway, this guy was freaking hard as hell. I'm pretty sure it was Yakuza 3 that you played this in. And in this, he's a cakewalk. You can just go right through him. Now, if you look right here, in Streets of Rage, there's a lot of dithering in this particular part, and I completely removed it and added the transparencies with the light. It's really nice. Now we're fighting dude. I don't remember ever seeing these guys in any of the Yakuza games. There, I just missed my Stamina X. I could have really used that. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking, let you hear some of that awesome music from Streets of Rage. Oh, I'm sorry, Streets of Kamurocho. So looking at this boss, I have no recollection of Koji Shinnu. Have no idea who it is. I mean, I was thinking it could be Ryuji, not 100% sure, but hey, Sega made the game, they'd know their own characters. Now we're approaching the last section of the round. The guy who just took his shirt off, that's Nishikiyama. That is Kiryu's childhood best friend and sworn brother. He cries constantly in the Yakuza 0 game, but in Yakuza 1, while Kiryu's locked away, Nishikiyama has his own family and is abused by many of the members of his own family. And when he ends up killing one of them, he takes the guy's blood and uses it to slick his hair back, and that is his turning point to being the bad guy and the family leader that he becomes. He does some bad things after that, but the story, at least play Kiwami 1 and 2. Most of the time they're on Game Pass, that's where I first played them, and I love this series. Anyway, that's round 1. And this right here is the reason why I stopped after round 1, because it's the same beginning, same everything. By the way, if you are interested in the series, check out PSN. They routinely have the entire series for like $30. I love it. They usually come with the Origin, which would be 0, 1, and 2, and then there's a second collection, which is 3, 4, and 5. 3 has the weakest gameplay out of all of them. 4 and 5 are better, but I still like the other games far more than 3. There's your Papo, that's your convenience store. And see, nothing's really changed other than some of the characters. So that's the reason why I'm ending it here, and I'm not going to keep going. You've already seen the other 2 characters. If you're interested in this, let me know. I'll see if I can find the link for it. It was on Steam. It's not readily available anymore. It's such a cool little option to play this, and I'm a huge fan. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Leave some likes, comments, subscribe, and have a good one.